Aisha adjusted her dupatta as she walked into the university campus. She was a bold, intelligent girl from Karachi, always surrounded by friends, her laughter echoing like a song. But today, her laughter stopped when her eyes caught someone new. Bilal, a quiet boy from Kuwait, recently shifted to Karachi for higher studies. His accent was different, his clothes simple, his eyes carrying the weight of untold stories. Bilal was sitting in a corner, sipping chai, lost in a book. Aisha, to her friend, whispering, "Who is he? I haven't seen him before." Friend, "Oh, that's Bilal from Baluchistan. Seems like he doesn't talk much." Later, in the library, fate played its card. Aisha couldn't reach a book on the top shelf. Bilal stepped forward, picked it for her, and handed it without a word. Aisha, smiling, "Thank you. You don't talk much, do you?" Bilal softly, "Some stories don't need words." That moment lingered. Days passed. Aisha noticed him in every corner of campus. He was different from the others, calm, observant, mysterious. Slowly, their paths began to cross more often. One day, sitting at the canteen, she teased him, "Aisha, do you ever smile?" Bilal, "Only when someone gives me a reason." Aisha, laughing, "Then maybe I should try harder." They started studying together. They shared chai by the sea at Clifton, walking barefoot in the sand. Karachi's noisy streets became their secret escape routes, as if the city itself wanted them to meet again and again. But Bilal was not just a boy with silence. He carried burdens. Back in Quetta, his father worked as a small shopkeeper, struggling to educate him. Life had been harsh. His silence was not shyness, it was survival. At night, Aisha would call him, "Aisha, why do you always hide yourself?" "Bilal, because people like you shine. People like me, we stay in the shadows." Aisha gently, "Then let me remind you, even shadows prove the presence of light." For the first time, Bilal allowed himself to dream. But love stories in Pakistan rarely flow smoothly. Aisha's family was wealthy, rooted in traditions and reputation. Her father, a businessman, had already planned her engagement with the son of his business partner. "Father, Aisha, you're old enough now. We have found a boy suitable for you. This is not about you alone, it's about family honor, Aisha." "But Abu, my heart doesn't agree." "Father, he is from a wealthy family. What more do you need?" Tears filled her eyes. In that moment, she realized her love for Bilal was not just a choice, it was a rebellion. Bilal sensed the storm before Aisha even told him. He began pulling away. "Bilal, we come from different worlds. Don't fight your family for me." "Aisha, and what about my heart, Bilal? Should I silence it to Bilal? Sometimes silence saves us from pain." Days turned into weeks. Bilal avoided her calls. He drowned himself in studies and part-time jobs, but at night, on the rooftop of his hostel, he would whisper her name to the Karachi sky. The day of Aisha's engagement arrived. The house was decorated with fairy lights, music filled the air, but her heart was breaking. She sneaked out to call Bilal one last time. Aisha crying, "Bilal, if I go through with this, I'll die every day." Bilal's voice trembling, "And if you don't, Aisha, The world will tear you apart. I can't let you suffer because of me." Before she could argue, he ended the call. But destiny never bows to fear. On the engagement night, as guests filled the hall, Aisha stood in her bridal dress, her dupatta covering her tears. The groom-to-be smiled proudly, but she felt suffocated. Then, in the middle of the ceremony, she did something unthinkable. Aisha stood up, her voice shaking but strong. "Aisha, I cannot marry a man I don't love. My heart belongs elsewhere." Gasps filled the room. Her father's face turned pale with anger. "Father! Aisha, do you know what you're saying?" "Aisha, yes, Abu. For once in my life, I will choose my own destiny." Aisha ran out of the hall, into the Karachi streets, lit with wedding lights. She knew where she had to go. At Bilal's hostel, she knocked at the door. Breathless, Bilal opened, shocked. "Bilal, Aisha, what are you doing here?" Aisha, tears streaming. "I left everything. Because you are my everything." For a long moment, silence hung between them. Then Bilal pulled her into an embrace. Bilal whispering, "You don't know what this means to me." "Aisha, I know. And I don't care about the world anymore." After running away from her engagement and choosing Bilal, Aisha's life was never the same. The world called it madness, but she called it love. Their new home was nothing like the luxurious mansion she grew up in. It was a tiny rented apartment in Sadr, with peeling walls and a single fan. Aisha unpacking boxers. "Bilal, it's so small." Bilal smiling softly. "Small, yes, but it's ours, and we will fill it with big dreams." They laughed. For the first time, the small room felt like the world's most beautiful palace. Life wasn't a fairy tale. Bilal worked part-time at a bookstore in Urdu Bazaar during the day and studied at night. Aisha, who had once worn designer clothes, now stitched her own shalwar kameez and cooked dal with her own hands. Sometimes, when the power went out, they sat in candlelight, eating simple food. Aisha teasing, "Bilal, at least you don't need to buy candles for a romantic dinner. Karachi's load shedding gives them for free." Bilal laughing. "True. Even electricity knows we're in love." But behind the jokes, struggles grew heavier. Bills piled up, and Aisha's family had completely cut her off. Relatives whispered, neighbors judged. She left a rich life for a poor boy. How long will love feed them? At a family gathering, an old aunt taunted, "Aisha Beda, Shadi Mohabbat se, Nahi bare, Garain se hoti ha." Child marriages are not made with love, but with big families. Aisha smiled politely, but later cried alone. Bilal found her, wiped her tears. "Bilal, Aisha, did I make a mistake by bringing you into this life?" Aisha firmly, holding his hand. "No, Bilal, this is the first time my life feels real. I don't regret a single thing." Despite the hardships, they never stopped dreaming. One evening, sitting at Clifton Beach, Aisha said, "Bilal, one day you'll open your own bookstore. Not just a small one, but a big one with your name on it." "Bilal? And you? What about your dreams?" "Aisha, I'll write. I'll tell stories about us, about people like us who fight for love, for dignity, for a life of their own." They promised to build their dreams side by side. Months later, Bilal got a chance to work as an assistant in a publishing house. His hard work impressed the owner, who gave him more responsibilities. Slowly, he started saving. At the same time, Aisha began teaching children in their neighborhood. She used her earnings to buy books and notebooks for kids who couldn't afford them. One day, Bilal came home with exciting news. Bilal, breathless, they want me to manage the new branch of the bookstore. Aisha tirida, smiling. See, I told you, your name will shine. Years passed. Aisha and Bilal's small apartment turned into a brighter home filled with books, laughter, and hope. But then, Aisha's father fell ill. Her family, who once disowned her, now knocked at her door. Her mother, with tears in her eyes. Aisha, we were wrong. We thought money makes happiness. But when I see you and Bill, I see real happiness. Her father, weak but sincere. Forgive me, Betty. Aisha hugged them, tears flowing. 5 years later, Bilal finally opened his own bookstore cafe in Karachi, where students came to study, read, and dream. The signboard outside read, Whispers by Bilal and Aisha. Inside, Aisha launched her first book collection of stories about love, sacrifice, and courage. As she stood on stage, Bilal watched proudly from the crowd. Aisha reading aloud. Love is not about escaping reality, it is about facing it together. In the heart of Karachi, amidst the noise and chaos, two people built a world of their own, and that world was stronger than all storms. The crowd applauded. Bilal's eyes shined with tears. Final scene. Karachi Nights. That night, they walked together at Clifton again, hand in hand, just like years ago. Aisha, do you remember when you said shadows only exist because of light? Bilal smiling. Yes. Aisha, then let's keep being each other's light forever. Karachi's waves crashed, the city buzzed, and their love story became one with the eternal rhythm of the night. Narrator, closing. Love doesn't end with a happy beginning. It grows, it struggles, it fights, and it survives. In Pakistan, where culture and tradition test every heart, Bilal and Aisha proved that true love is not just whispered, it is lived. Years passed. Karachi changed. Bilal and Aisha now had 2 children. Ayman, a daughter of 18, full of energy and opinions, and Hamza, a calm and thoughtful 16-year-old boy. At the breakfast table, Iman rolling her eyes. Amy, please. I don't want to wear shalwar kameez every day. Why can't I just wear jeans to university like everyone else? Aisha smile. Beta, wear whatever you like, but don't forget your roots. Bilal laughing. Let her wear jeans. In our time, we fought for love. Now, they fight for clothes. Everyone laughed. But Ayman secretly thought, I'll fight for my dreams too, Abu. Just like you did. At Karachi University, Iman was one of the brightest students. She wanted to study journalism, to speak for women, for freedom, for truth. But society still whispered her. Kala said, journalism for a girl. Beta, teach in a school. Journalism is for men. Her daddy said, Beta, don't waste time. Soon, you'll be married. But Iman was her mother's daughter. She looked at Bilal and Aisha and saw how they once broke chains. Aima meme Abu, if you two could fight the whole world for love, why can't I fight for my career? Bilal placed his hand on her head. Then fight, Betty. We'll stand with you. One rainy evening at the university library, Iman met Zion. He was passionate, soft-spoken, a poet at heart. Zion, handing her a book. You dropped this, Iman. Thanks. You like Faiz, Ahmad Faiz too? Zion, who in Karachi doesn't, his poetry is our heartbeat. They began talking about literature, about Karachi, about dreams of changing Pakistan. Slowly, friendship turned into something deeper, but Iman knew her parents' past. Love stories were never easy in this city. Months later, when Aisha discovered Iman's bond with Zion, her reaction was mixed. Aisha serious Iman. Love is not wrong. But do you know his family? Do you know his struggles? Love is easy when it's new. Hardship tests it. Iman confident. Emmy, you of all people should understand. Didn't you fight the same battle? Bilal, overhearing, stayed silent. His heart remembered the pain, the nights of hunger, the taunts of society. He didn't want his daughter to suffer the same. Bilal, Betty, love gave me you and your mother, but it also gave us scars. Are you ready for scars? Iman looked down, but whispered, yes, Abu. Zion's family was middle class, struggling to survive. His father was a retired railway worker, and his mother stitched clothes. When Iman's extended family found out, judgment returned. Uncle, she's the daughter of Bilal, the bookstore owner. She can do better. Why tie her to poverty, Kala? History repeats. First, Aisha now Iman, always choosing love over status. Iman stood firm. If my parents built an empire out of nothing, why can't Zion and I build ours? But Zion had his own demons. He wanted to move abroad to study journalism in London. He feared Karachi would swallow his dreams. Zion, Iman, I can't stay here. I want to leave this city. Iman, hurt? Leave. Karachi is my identity. Zion, I can't abandon it. Their love was tested, not by society this time, but by their own ambitions. One night, Bilal took Iman to Clifton Beach, the same place where he once made promises to Aisha. Bilal, Beatty, love is not about choosing one dream over another. It's about weaving two dreams together. If he goes, will you follow? If you stay, will he fight for you? That's love's test. Iman listened, silent but determined. When Zion got his scholarship abroad, he was torn. Zion, Iman, come with me. Iman Tiri. No, Zion. My fight is here. For my people, for my city. If you love me, you'll come back. If not, maybe this love wasn't strong enough. Rain fell. Karachi's lights are blurred during rain. Months passed. Iman threw herself into journalism, becoming a bold young voice on TV, challenging corruption and injustice. And one day, at a press conference, she saw Zion back in Karachi with a notebook in hand. Zion smiling across the crowd. I came back. Because without you, Ayman, no city, no dream, no country feels like home. The story came full circle, just like Bilal and Aisha once built their love in hardship. Iman and Zion were ready to build theirs in a new Pakistan. A Pakistan where tradition and modernity clashed. But love remained eternal. Every generation must fight its own battles against society, against tradition, against itself. But in the end, love is not just about two hearts. It's about two dreams, two struggles, and one promise to never give up. Iman had become one of the boldest young journalists in Pakistan. Her fiery speeches on TV, her fearless questions to politicians, and her passion for truth made her a symbol of youth resistance. Clips of her shows spread everywhere. Students quoted her. People began calling her the voice of Karachi. But in politics, truth is dangerous. One night, Bilal watched her on TV and whispered to Aisha. Bilal says, "She's walking a path even harder than ours." Aisha says, "Yes, and this time, we cannot protect her. She has to fight her own war." Zion worked as a reporter too, but unlike Iman, he believed in careful words, slow change, diplomacy. At a chai daba after work, "Zion, Iman, you're playing with fire. These politicians won't let you live in peace." Iman firmly says, "And if I stay silent, who will speak? Who will fight for the poor, the women, the people?" Zion sighed. He loved her, but her courage scared him. One evening, after a heated TV debate where Amin exposed a corrupt minister, her phone buzzed. Unknown caller. "Iman, madam, shut your voice. Karachi will not tolerate your voice." Iman froze but refused to show fear. Later, at home, "See, ma, Abu, they want me to stop?" Bilal clutching her hand. "Beta, your voice is stronger than their threat." But remember, courage has a price. Her relatives again began whispering, "Kala." First, she disrespected us by choosing journalism. Now, she is putting the whole family in danger. "Uncle, this girl doesn't know politics. She'll get herself killed." But Imanzadi said softly, "When your Abu once fought for love, people mocked him too. Let her fight. She is our blood." One night at Clifton Beach, the same place where love stories in this family always turned, Zion confronted Ayman. "Zion, I can't do this anymore. Every day I fear losing you. Can't you step back a little?" Iman angrily says, "Step back from my truth, from my people. If you can't walk beside me, Zion, maybe you were never meant to." Tears fell. The sea roared. Zion left without another word. Iman's speeches grew stronger. Students began demanding she enter politics. She became a symbol of a new Pakistan where women could lead. At a rally, crowd, "Amen, amen, amen." Iman into mic. "This city has bled enough. Karachi doesn't need silence. It needs truth. And I will never stop speaking it." The crowd roared. The nation began watching. But courage has enemies. One dark evening, as Iman returned from her show, two motorbikes followed her car. Shots were fired. Glass shattered. The city gasped. She survived. Barely. But the message was clear. Stay silent, or next time, you won't be lucky. Aisha wept. Bilal held her trembling hand. Zion rushed to the hospital, holding Iman's bloodied fingers. Zion crying. I was wrong. I was weak. If you fight, I fight. If you bleed, I bleed. Never leave me again. Iman returned stronger. Her survival made her a hero. Young girls carried posters of her. Students wore her slogans. She wasn't just Bilal and Aisha's daughter anymore. She was Karachi's daughter, Iman says. They tried to silence me with bullets, but bullets can't kill truth. My voice is my weapon, and I will never drop it. Zion stood by her side as her partner in love and now in revolution. At night, Bilal sat in his bookstore, smiling faintly. Bilal to Aisha says, we once fought for love. She is fighting for a nation. Our struggle gave birth to hers. Aisha says, yes, our love was personal. Her love is for Pakistan. The camera pans out. Karachi glowing, alive, restless. Some love stories never end. They transform. Bilal and Aisha fought to keep love alive. Ayman and Zion fought to keep truth alive. And in the restless nights of Karachi, whispers turned into voices. Voices turned into movements. And movements built the dream of a new Pakistan. Months passed. Iman's name was now everywhere. She wasn't just a journalist anymore. She was the symbol of youth. Universities invited her. Crowds followed her. Even international media called her the Iron Daughter of Karachi. But fame is never safe in Pakistan. One night at home, Aisha worried. Beta, I am proud. But every time you go out, my heart trembles. Iman holding her hands. Amy, don't fear. You and Abu gave me courage. If I stop now, their sacrifices, your struggles would mean nothing. On a rooftop overlooking Karachi's lights, Zion, they'll try again. They won't stop until they silence you. Amen. Then let them try. My voice is stronger than their bullets. Zion took her hand firmly. If they ever touch you again, they'll have to pass through me first. I will protect you, or I will fall with you. Their love had grown beyond romance. Now it was a pact of blood. Under the scorching sun of Karachi, thousands gathered for Iman's first political rally. Banners read, Youth for Iman. Women, men, children, all chanting her name, Iman, on stage. This is not my dream alone. This is Karachi's dream. This is Pakistan's dream, a country where truth is not punished, where women are not silenced, where the poor are not forgotten. The crowd roared like an ocean of hope. But within the same city, shadows plotted. Corrupt politicians, threatened by her rise, held a secret meeting. Minister, if she wins, we lose everything. Karachi will no longer be ours. Another voice, then she must not win. She must not even live. The City of Lights was preparing for its darkest night. On the day of her biggest rally in Liaquated, as Iman stood waving to the crowd, a gunshot cracked the air. Chaos, screams, blood. Zion jumped forward, shielding her. The bullet tore into him. Iman's scream echoed through the stadium. She knelt beside him, trembling, holding his fading hand. Zion weakly. Didn't I promise? If they touched you, they'd have to pass through me. Iman, no. Please. Stay with me. Don't leave me. Zion. Zion smiling faintly. Iman, even if I leave, your fight must never stop. Karachi, Pakistan needs you. His hand fell limp. The crowd, shocked and enraged, began chanting, Ladimun, Imi. Her tears mixed with his blood, a personal tragedy turning into a national uprising. Iman rose, her white dupatta now stained with Zion's blood. She faced the crowd, her voice breaking but fierce. They think killing him will silence me. But they are wrong. His blood is now my strength. His sacrifice is my weapon. I will not stop until every corrupt hand is broken, until Pakistan belongs to its people again. The stadium erupted. It was no longer a rally. It was a revolution. Later, in Bilal's bookstore, Aisha sat quietly, Bilal with tears in his eyes. We once fought to marry. She now fights to change the world. Our daughter has turned our small love story into the history of a nation. Aisha, yes, we fought for ourselves. She fights for Pakistan. Some stories end in love. Some stories end in loss. But the greatest stories end in legacy. Iman lost her beloved, but gained a nation. Her whispers became Karachi's roar. Her pain became Pakistan's strength. And as the city lights shimmered that night, one thing was clear. Love can begin with two hearts, but when it is brave, it can awaken an entire country.